And we say Sitaram to your listeners on Radio Jaagriti, 102.7 FM, our viewers on TV Jaagriti. Hey, those of you joining us home here in Trinidad and Tobago, regionally, internationally as well. Welcome to a special edition of Conversations right here on your number one radio and TV Jaagriti. Of course, at this time, you're accustomed to the program Straight Talk with our CEO, Mr. Lokesh Maharaj. But as we promised you last week, as we promised you on a Monday, when we had no program, we have a special guest with us in the studio, and we're having a special edition of the program, Straight Talk. Of course, we've got with us Professor Peter Baofu with us in studio. Sitaram, and welcome to Radio and TV Jaagriti.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about Peter Baofu.
Well, I am an American author and visionary. I have written more than 160 books in all fields of knowledge, in the social sciences, in the humanities, in the formal sciences, and in the humanities. And I try to propose more than 128 different new theories and visions about the human future in relation to the mind, nature, culture, and society. Ultimately, for some unified theories of everything, not just one, but several of them. And I have been in more than 100 different countries around the world. And I do that intentionally in order to understand humanity on the ground, not just by reading a documentary or watching a film and all that.
So we're privileged and happy that you're sharing some time with us. If I may, Peter mentioned to me earlier on, we can talk about anything, right? 126 new theories for our listeners and our viewers who would be interested in reading up some more about some of the things that we've spoken about. How can we access these?
This is a serious problem in a different way. Number one, it's difficult for people to understand me because I have written so many books. It's not that one book you come in and tomorrow you say, I know what you are thinking, that's your ideology and all that. 160 books in all fields of knowledge. And many of them make people extremely uncomfortable. Why? Because they are not interested in this. Let's say you are, a mathematician. But if I have written a book, let's say, on boxing, you probably do not find that. Why do I have to read a book on boxing if the fact that my joy is about mathematics? On the other hand, if you talk to someone who is a playboy or playgirl, why does he have to read a book on enlightenment or metaphysics? And for me, it's not. So for someone, that's why I say people like me, there are not many of them. And there are not many people out there who are interested in people like me, to be honest with you. So will they read many of this book? No. They can pick one, two, the one that they like the most. But then that is just one side of the big pie. Now, where do I get all these books? And it's also very expensive. So one quick answer is that the good news is that nowadays in a lot of national libraries or university libraries, you can go in to the and talk to the librarian and ask them to acquire one or two books of your choice because their library, their function is to acquire books. And you can just say that this book is something that I want to read. Can you acquire the book? The chances they will say yes, and then once the book in, you can just go there and read that. Unfortunately, people don't do that. They don't have the time and the motivation to have to go to the national library, the university library, have to spend time asking the librarian to order a book. I have to wait for a few weeks before the book comes. It is too. But there's a copyright problem too because I don't publish my books. There's the publishers, they publish, and you have to pay for it. I cannot even allow, by the way, to put my books on the internet for free. I don't mind.
Because I was going to ask you about having these books online.
In fact, I'm thinking that if I can get some sufficient funding, I will cancel all these copyrights, and I will take them into my own hand and I will put everything online and let them.
Very quickly, is there a YouTube, because I saw a YouTube but is there a YouTube channel specifically dedicated to your work?
No, I don't have any official sponsor.
So it's just a general search.
I think about it. Who will be willing to sponsor someone like me? My thinking is not, it's totally outside the box.
Professor, we're quickly out of time. It certainly was a pleasure having you here. And as you can tell, listeners and viewers, there's so much that we can talk about and certainly keep going on and on and on. I've got an extensive list here that and can just pull any topic from, and Professor would be able to elaborate on it. But once again, thank you very much for joining us and sharing this hour with us here on Radio and TV Jaagriti.
Okay, thank you very much
Most
for the
welcome.
invitation.
So here's where we wrap up this special edition of the program, Conversations, right here on your number one Radio and TV Jaagriti. News at 5 is up next.